Imagine you run a restaurant. You've somehow convinced your customers to happily bust their own tables, stack their own dirty dishes, and actually order extra food. They're completely too full to eat.
Right.
All for the slim chance of winning a plastic keychain that probably cost you like 10 cents to manufacture.
Yeah, exactly. 10 cents.
And you haven't started a cult. You haven't invented some dystopian mind control device or anything. You've just opened a modern Japanese conveyor belt sushi restaurant.
It is the ultimate triumph of behavioral psychology, just disguised as a casual lunch, you know?
Yeah.
When you actually stop and look at the mechanics of what is happening in these spaces, it completely challenges every single traditional assumption we have about hospitality and labor economics and just dining out in general.
And that is exactly our mission for you today. Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're unpacking why Japanese conveyor belt sushi, which is known locally as Kaiten Sushi, has evolved from this simple, hyper-cheap dining alternative into a wildly sophisticated, high-tech food amusement park.
Food amusement park is really the only way to describe it at this point.
It really is. And it has practically become a pilgrimage site for foreign tourists.
Yeah.
Specifically that 20s and 30s demographic who are currently just flooding into Japan.
Right, the younger travelers.
Exactly. And we've pulled together a massive stack of sources for this one. We are looking at bucket list travel guides, deep dive foodie analyses from platforms like Reddit and Lemonade.
Some really intense debates on Lemonade, by the way.
Oh, definitely. Plus, serious business and supply chain breakdowns from Nikkei, transcripts from Japanese television broadcasts, and the official corporate press releases from the absolute titans of the industry.
It is a phenomenal intersection of topics. You have this really deep culinary tradition slamming headfirst into like cutting-edge semiconductor-level technology.
Yeah.
And all of that is mixed with a very specific type of gamified consumer culture.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because to truly understand why tourists are currently waiting like 3 hours to sit in front of giant interactive digital screens and sushi bullet trains, we can't really start with the technology.
No, you have to go back.
Right. We have to understand the fundamental problem this industry was trying to solve in the first place. And that takes us all the way back to Osaka, Japan in 1958.
Right. So Japan in the late 1950s is in the early stages of its post-war economic miracle.
Things are booming.
Exactly. The economy is revving up, industrialization is booming, and there is a massive shift happening in the labor market. Everyone is going to work in factories and corporate offices.
Getting those stable jobs.
Yeah. And in the middle of all this, you have a man named Yoshiaki Shiraishi. He runs a small, very traditional standing sushi bar in Osaka. And he is facing an existential business crisis, which is a severe labor shortage.
Because all the potential restaurant workers are, well, they're taking these newly created factory jobs, right?
Exactly. He physically cannot hire enough skilled chefs or servers to keep up with the demand of his customers. His restaurant is popular, but it's a logistical bottleneck.
Right.
Because in a traditional sushi setup, the chef has to take the order, make the sushi, hand it to the customer, calculate the bill based on what they ate, and clear the space. Shiraishi is burning out.
Doing everything himself.
Yeah, and his business is completely capped by how fast he can move his own hands.
So he needs a way to decouple the preparation of the food from the delivery of the food.
Precisely.
Yep.
And the legend goes that inspiration struck him in a completely unrelated industry. He was taking a tour of an Asahi beer brewery.
A beer brewery?
Yeah. He is standing there watching this massive industrial operation, and he focuses on the conveyor belts. He sees hundreds of glass beer bottles moving steadily, smoothly along this continuous loop on an assembly line.
Just nonstop.
Right. No humans carrying them, just a seamless, mechanized flow. And he has this absolute light bulb moment. Like, what if those weren't beer bottles? What if those were small plates of sushi?
It's one of those ideas that sounds so obvious in retrospect, you know?
Yeah.
But it's a massive conceptual leap.
Huge.
But you can't just buy an industrial beer conveyor belt and slap a piece of raw tuna on it. There had to be a serious engineering phase.
Oh, it took him almost half a decade to figure it out. Shiraishi basically had to become a self-taught mechanical engineer.
Wow, 5 years.
Yeah, because think about it. A beer bottle is heavy and has a really low center of gravity. A small, lightweight ceramic plate holding delicate rice and fish is incredibly unstable.
Oh, true.
If the belt jerks, the sushi falls apart. If it takes a corner too fast, centrifugal force just sends the plate flying onto the floor.
So how did he actually solve the cornering problem?
He had to invent a completely new type of conveyor chain. Traditional industrial chains use these interlocking rectangular metal links, which jutted out awkwardly when they went around a curve.
They kind of bunch up.
Exactly. So Shiraishi designed a chain using crescent moon-shaped plates made of stainless steel. Because of the crescent shape, when the chain went around a tight corner, the curved edges nested perfectly into one another.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, creating a completely flat, seamless surface no matter how sharp the turn was.
That's brilliant. It's almost like the overlapping scales on a snake.
Exactly like that. And then he had to calculate the optimal speed. If the belt moves too fast, the sushi dries out quickly and the customers get stressed trying to snatch a plate like they're playing some weird reflex game.
Yeah, like whack-a-mole with dinner.
Right. But if it moves too slow, the customer gets impatient and the table turnover rate plummets. So Shiraishi tested countless speeds and finally settled on 8 centimeters per second.
8 centimeters per second. Why that specific speed?
Because he realized it perfectly matched the natural scanning speed of the human eye.
You're kidding.
No. It was just slow enough for a customer to visually register the fish, decide if they wanted it, and comfortably reach out to grab it, but just fast enough to keep the dining pace active.
That is wild.
It was human-centered design before that term even existed. So he opened the first Kaiten Sushi, which literally translates to rotating sushi, in 1958, and it fundamentally changed Japanese culture.
Which is a huge point. I mean, he was trying to solve a labor shortage, but what he accidentally did was completely democratize sushi.
Absolutely.
We have to remember that historically, eating sushi was not like a casual Tuesday lunch. It was a luxury, high-end, and frankly, deeply intimidating experience.
It was basically an exercise in social hierarchy. You had to sit at a wooden counter face-to-face with a highly trained master chef who had spent, 10 years just learning how to wash rice.
Just the rice.
Right. There were intense, unwritten rules of etiquette. And worst of all, traditional sushi restaurants rarely displayed clear prices.
Oh, that's terrifying.
You ordered what the chef recommended, and at the end of the meal, you were handed a bill that could potentially ruin your month. It was an environment of really high anxiety for the average working-class person.
And Shiraishi's conveyor belt shattered that entire barrier. Suddenly, you didn't have to talk to an intimidating chef.
Nope.
You didn't have to worry about the cost because the plates were color-coded with exact cheap prices printed right on the wall. You just sat down, watched the food parade by, and grabbed whatever looked good to you.
It made fresh sushi accessible.
Yeah, accessible, transparent, and completely stress-free.
It decoupled the food from the formality, and that core philosophy, accessibility and efficiency, became the DNA of the entire industry.
Right.
But if we fast forward from 1958 to today, that simple mechanical crescent moon belt has undergone a digital transformation that is so extreme, it almost defies belief.
Let's talk about the modern Kaiten Sushi tech stack, because digital transformation almost feels like, well, an understatement.
It really does.
In one of the Nikkei Key business analyses we reviewed, they described the kitchen of a modern conveyor belt sushi chain as looking more like a semiconductor clean room than a traditional restaurant kitchen.
That analogy is incredibly apt. When we think of a restaurant kitchen, we picture chaos, right?
Yeah.
Shouting chefs, open flames, tickets printing everywhere.
Just a mess.
Yeah. But a modern Kaiten Sushi kitchen is a masterclass in hyper-sanitized automated precision. The rice, for instance, is no longer formed by human hands at all.
Not at all.
They use advanced robotic sushi machines called Suzumo robots. These machines wash the rice, cook it to the exact optimal temperature, mix in the vinegar, and then
Would they mix it too?
they do everything. And then they use precisely calibrated air injection to form the rice balls, the shuri, so they are perfectly fluffy, never dense or compressed. They can churn out thousands of these per hour.
That's insane. But the automation goes way beyond just making the food, right? It's the data tracking that really blew my mind.
All the data tracking is next level.
When a plate of sushi goes onto the belt today, it's not just floating blindly. These restaurants integrate RFID chips and QR codes into the bottom of every single plate.
Right, they're essentially creating a localized Internet of Things on the conveyor belt.
So as the plate moves around the restaurant, it passes over scanners. The central computer system knows exactly what piece of fish is on that plate, what time it was made, and how many meters it has traveled.
It's tracking every millimeter.
Yeah. And if a plate of fatty tuna has been circulating for too long and is starting to lose its absolute peak freshness, the system automatically triggers a mechanical arm or deflector at a checkpoint that sweeps the expired plate off the belt and straight into the disposal bin.
The customer never even sees it.
The customer never sees it. It's wild.
And the data pipeline works in reverse, too. It's not just tracking waste, it's predicting demand. The AI system knows exactly how many adults and children are currently seated in the restaurant.
Just based on the check-in data.
Exactly. It knows historically that a party of 4 adults at 7:00 p.m. on a Friday will likely consume, say, X number of salmon plates in their first 20 minutes. The algorithm tells the kitchen staff exactly what to make before the customers even realize they are hungry.
That is wild.
It's predictive manufacturing applied to raw seafood.
But we have to acknowledge that a lot of this recent hyper-advanced technology wasn't just adopted for the sake of, progress.
No, it wasn't.
The industry was essentially forced into an overnight engineering sprint because of an existential crisis. We really need to talk about the sushi terrorism scandal.
Yes, you cannot discuss the modern state of Kaiten Sushi without understanding the profound impact of the events of late 2022 and early 2023. It was a cultural earthquake in Japan.
For those who might have missed it, there was a viral trend that exploded on social media platforms like TikTok and Twitter. Teenagers were filming themselves performing highly unhygienic pranks inside conveyor belt sushi restaurants.
Just awful stuff.
We're talking about licking the rims of communal soy sauce bottles, touching food as it went by on the belt and leaving it there, and putting their saliva on the clean cups.
To a Western listener, that might just sound like annoying teenage vandalism. But we have to contextualize this within Japanese society.
Right.
Japan is a high-trust society. The entire concept of an open conveyor belt carrying raw fish slowly past hundreds of strangers relies on an unspoken, ironclad social contract. Everyone agrees to act with hygiene and respect.
Because you're all sharing the same air, the same food supply.
Exactly. When those videos went viral, it didn't just gross people out, it shattered that fundamental social contract.
The financial fallout was catastrophic, wasn't it?
It was a free fall. Consumer confidence evaporated overnight, families stopped going, the stock prices of the major Kaiten Sushi parent companies plummeted, losing hundreds of millions of dollars in market capitalization in a matter of days.
Hundreds of millions.
Yeah. The very core of their business model, the rotating open belt, was suddenly perceived as a massive public health liability.
So the industry had a choice, basically die or innovate immediately. And the pivot they made was incredible. They initiated what the industry is now calling the Beltless revolution.
Which sounds like an oxymoron, a beltless conveyor belt sushi restaurant.
Right.
But it is the future they had to build. Instead of a slow, continuous loop of random sushi that anyone can reach out and touch, many chains ripped out the traditional loops and replaced them entirely with high-speed, dedicated express lanes.
It changes the entire paradigm. You sit down, you order specifically what you want on a touchscreen tablet. Back in the clean room kitchen, they make your specific order, place it on the express lane, and it shoots out of the kitchen like a miniature maglev train.
Zooming past everyone.
Right, it bypasses every other table and stops dead directly in front of your specific seat.
Exactly. No one else has the opportunity to intercept it, breathe on it, or touch it. It completely eliminates the shared space hygiene risk.
Wow.
And as a brilliant secondary benefit, it drastically reduces food waste. In the old system, you had to guess what people wanted, put it on the belt, and hope they took it. If they didn't, you threw it away. With the express lanes, it is a 100% made-to-order system. Waste drops to near zero.
Even chains that decided to keep the traditional rotating belts had to militarize them with technology to win back public trust. They installed AI-powered cameras above every booth, angled directly at the belts.
And this isn't just basic security footage. This is highly trained computer vision.
Right.
The AI is trained to recognize normal dining behavior. A hand reaching out, taking a plate, and retracting. But if the AI detects an anomalous movement, say, a hand taking a plate, hovering, and then placing that plate back onto the belt, the system instantly flags it.
That's incredible.
It sends a real-time alert to the kitchen staff with the exact table number, and it tracks that specific contaminated plate down the line so an employee can intercept and destroy it before it reaches the next customer.
I had to pause here and ask the obvious question. If the rice is being injected with air by robots, the plates have RFID chips, an algorithm is predicting my hunger, AI cameras are analyzing my hand movements, and my food arrives on a high-speed magnetic rail. Is this even a restaurant anymore? Or have we just built a highly efficient, edible casino?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's a very fair critique. In a lot of Western contexts, introducing that level of total automation feels incredibly cold.
Yeah, very sterile.
It feels alienating and dystopian, like you're just a cog in a feeding machine. But this is where Japan's unique cultural genius comes into play. They possess this unparalleled ability to take hyper-efficient robotic automation and wrap it in a layer of whimsical hospitality.
The technology basically becomes the entertainment.
Precisely. The bullet train delivery system isn't just efficient, it's deeply delightful to watch, whether you are 5 years old or 50. The touchscreen interfaces are colorful, animated, and reactive. The automation doesn't subtract from the hospitality, it translates the hospitality into a different medium.
I love that framing. And if you, as a traveler, are going to step into this highly calibrated machine, you need to know how to operate the controls.
You really do.
Which brings us to the first-timer survival guide. Because walking into one of these mega restaurants can be an absolute sensory overload. And the DIY nature of the experience comes with some very strict, unwritten rules.
Setting yourself up for success starts the exact second you walk through the sliding automatic doors.
Exactly. You walk in, and you won't see a host or a maitre d'.
Oh.
You will approach a glowing touchscreen check-in kiosk. Now, for a foreign tourist, this used to be the most terrifying part of traveling in Japan, the language barrier.
Oh, absolutely.
But the modern Kaiten Sushi kiosk has completely solved this. You tap the screen, and instantly you can switch the interface to English, Korean, simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, whatever you need.
It completely removes the friction of entry. You don't have to nervously practice a Japanese phrase in your head while waiting in line.
You just punch in the number of adults in your party, the number of kids, and whether you prefer a counter seat for a solo diner or a booth for a group. The machine spits out a little paper ticket with a QR code and your table number, say, table 42. You look up, follow the massive digital signs hanging from the ceiling, and navigate yourself through the maze to table 42.
And once you sit down at table 42, you immediately realize that you are the master of your own domain. The entire dining experience is highly interactive. You are essentially setting up your own dining station, and understanding this DIY setup is crucial.
Let's start with the beverage situation, specifically the green tea. In a sushi restaurant, this is traditionally called a gari. Now, if you are expecting a waiter to bring you a steaming cast iron teapot or even just a standard Lipton tea bag in a little paper wrapper, you are going to be very confused.
Very confused. The tea setup is entirely integrated into the architecture of your table.
Right. On your table, usually sitting on a little elevated shelf or sometimes tucked into a recessed compartment, you will find a small, opaque container filled with bright green powder. This is matcha green tea powder.
Yeah.
You take one of the heavy ceramic cups stacked above you, and using the tiny wooden spoon provided, you drop 1 or 2 scoops of this powder directly into your empty cup. Then you look at your table, and you will see a heavy black tap or nozzle protruding from the surface. You push your cup firmly against the button behind that tap.
And this is where we need to issue a very serious public service announcement for first-timers.
Yes. Listen to me very carefully. That water is boiling hot. It is not pleasantly warm. It is not a modern hand washing station. Do not put your fingers under it. And definitely do not try to wet a napkin to wipe a spill off your shirt.
You will end up in the hospital.
It will scald you. You press the heavy ceramic cup against the lever, dispense the boiling water over the powder, give it a quick stir, and let it steep.
There is a fascinating culinary and historical reason for why the agori must be that profoundly hot, by the way. It's not an accident.
Wait, really? I always just assumed they wanted to extract the flavor from the powder quickly.
That's part of it, but it goes much deeper. Back in the Edo period, hundreds of years before modern refrigeration, eating raw fish obviously carried certain inherent risks. The high catechin content in green tea acts as a mild antibacterial agent in the digestive tract. The hot tea was literally a functional safety measure.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah. But practically speaking today, the extreme heat serves a very specific gastronomic purpose. It is the ultimate palate cleanser.
How so?
When you eat a piece of premium fatty fish like a high-grade bluefin tuna belly or salmon, it leaves a microscopic coating of fish fat across your tongue and the roof of your mouth. If you drink ice water, that fat congeals. It solidifies and dulls your taste buds. Boiling hot green tea literally melts the residual fish fat, washing it away and completely resetting your olfactory and taste receptors. It ensures that your 10th plate of delicate flounder tastes just as crisp as your first.
That is incredible. I never thought about the thermodynamics of the tea melting the fat. That makes so much sense.
That's pure science.
Speaking of palate cleansers, we have to talk about the other DIY element on the table, which is the pickled ginger, or gari. You will find a sleek black box on your table filled with thin, pinkish-white slices of pickled ginger.
And just like the hot tea, the ginger is fundamentally misunderstood by many foreign diners.
Yes. You see tourists treating the ginger like a side salad, eating a huge bowl of it before the food arrives, or worse, taking a massive clump of ginger and draping it over a beautiful piece of tuna like a wet blanket, and then eating them together in one bite.
Which completely obliterates the nuanced flavor of the fish. The gingerol compounds in the ginger are incredibly sharp and astringent. The structural purpose of gari is to be eaten between different varieties of sushi. If you transition from a heavy, rich eel with sweet sauce to a light, clean squid, you eat one slice of ginger in between. It shocks the palate, resets olfactory fatigue, and prepares you for the next profile.
Okay, so your tea is steeped, your ginger is prepped, and you are ready to eat. This brings us to the golden rules of the conveyor belt. These are the strict, unwritten social laws you must abide by to avoid being a terrible tourist.
Rule number 1 is the absolute prime directive of Kaiten Sushi. Touch it, and you buy it.
Never, ever put a plate back on the rotating belt after your hand has made contact with it. If a plate is slowly passing your table and you reach out and your finger even grazes the rim of that plastic plate, congratulations, you just purchased that sushi.
It's yours now.
You cannot pick it up, bring it close to your face to inspect the marbling of the fish, decide you don't want it, and put it back.
As we discussed with the sushi terrorism fallout, this is no longer just a matter of being polite. It is a matter of strict sanitary compliance. The AI cameras above you are specifically programmed to watch for this exact behavior. If you put a plate back, you are introducing a contamination vector to the entire restaurant. Pull the plate, keep the plate.
Rule number 2, don't poach from the order lane. Now, if you are using the touchscreen tablet to order a specific item, say you really want a plate of sweet shrimp, that item is going to be dispatched from the kitchen. If your restaurant uses the dedicated high-speed upper express lane, it's easy. The food shoots out and stops at your table.
Right.
But in some restaurants, your specific order comes down the main slow-moving belt.
Right, and they differentiate it visually.
Exactly. The plate will usually be sitting on top of a bright red elevated plastic stand that clearly says ordered in multiple languages. As it approaches your table, your tablet will chime or play a specific melody to warn you to grab it.
It's very obvious.
Yeah. The rule here is simple. If you see a beautiful, freshly torched piece of Wagyu beef floating down the line on an elevated red stand, and your tablet is not playing a melody, do not touch it. It belongs to the guy 3 tables down who's been waiting 10 minutes for it. Poaching someone else's custom order is a cardinal sin.
Rule number 3 involves the mechanics of soy sauce, or shoyu. And this is a rule that applies to all sushi dining, really, not just conveyor belt.
Yes. Your table will have a stack of very small, shallow dishes. You take one, and you pour a modest, conservative amount of soy sauce into the dish. What you absolutely do not do is take the communal soy sauce bottle and douse your plate of sushi directly from above, flooding the rice.
It's an issue of basic physics and culinary respect. Sushi rice, the sherry, is not packed tightly. It contains pockets of air to keep it fluffy.
Right.
If you pour liquid soy sauce directly onto the rice, capillary action causes the grains to absorb a massive amount of sodium instantly. The structural integrity of the rice ball collapses, and it turns into a salty, mushy pile on your plate. You must pick up the sushi, invert it slightly, and lightly dab the fish into your shallow soy sauce dish, keeping the rice dry.
Rule number 4 is a quick cultural note about your chopsticks. You pull a pair of disposable wooden chopsticks from the box on your table, and you snap them apart. Do not rub them together.
Please don't.
I know a lot of people do this in the West to smooth out potential splinters, but in Japan, doing this at the table is considered highly offensive.
It traces back to a deep cultural reverence for craftsmanship, and historically, wooden chopsticks have roots in Shinto religious offerings. By rubbing them together, you are non-verbally signaling to the restaurant staff that you believe they have provided you with cheap, defective, low-quality utensils.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's an insult to the establishment. Snap them cleanly and use them.
And finally, rule number 5, which is perhaps the most prizing reality check for foreign tourists, the Sabinuki norm.
This completely upends the traditional expectation of what sushi is.
It really does.
Yeah.
Sabinuki literally translates to without wasabi. If you go to a high-end traditional omakase sushi bar, The chef meticulously dabs a specific, calculated amount of freshly grated wasabi between the rice and the fish before handing it to you.
Right.
But at a modern Kaiten Sushi chain, almost 100% of the sushi traveling on that belt comes completely void of wasabi. There's nothing but rice and fish.
And this is purely a matter of global economics and shifting demographics. Kaiten Sushi chains survive on massive, blistering volume. Their core customer base consists of families with young children whose palates cannot handle the sharp heat of horseradish.
Yeah, kids hate that stuff.
And a surging influx of international tourists who might have an aversion to the spice.
It's the ultimate lowest common denominator approach. By removing the wasabi at the production level, they ensure the food is palatable to absolutely everyone. If you're a purist, and you love the burn of wasabi, you aren't being ignored, you just have to do the labor yourself. There will be small, single-serve packets of wasabi in a box on your table, or sometimes a jar circulating on the belt. You tear a packet open and apply it to each piece yourself.
Exactly.
But let me play devil's advocate for a second here. We've just listed a very intense set of rules. You have to navigate a digital kiosk, mix your own chemically precise hot tea, avoid scalding yourself, memorize the etiquette of the ginger, dodge the AI cameras watching your hands, avoid stealing from the order lane, and construct your own wasabi profile.
It's a lot.
It is. For a tourist who just got off a 14-hour flight and is dealing with massive culture shock, does all this DIY friction actually feel overwhelming? I can easily imagine someone having a mild panic attack trying to figure out the hot water tap.
It's a completely valid concern. On paper, it sounds like a stressful obstacle course, but the reality of the user experience is quite the opposite. The genius of this system is that the automated multilingual tablets actually remove the single deepest source of travel anxiety, which is the vulnerability of the language barrier.
That's a really interesting point.
Think about the alternative. In a traditional, old-school Japanese restaurant, you walk in and you are handed a vertically written, handwritten menu entirely in kanji. You have no idea what anything is. You have to nervously try to flag down a busy waiter, point to a random line of text, and mispronounce the order while hoping you didn't just order fish internal organs.
And then they're done that. It's stressful.
It makes you feel helpless. In a Kaiten Sushi restaurant, that social anxiety is completely eradicated. You are in a protective, high-tech bubble. You look at a vibrant, glowing, high-definition picture of a shrimp. You tap the shrimp. 3 minutes later, a magnetic bullet train delivers the shrimp directly to your face. It provides a profound sense of autonomy and control in a foreign land. It is actually much less intimidating.
You're right. It replaces social friction with mechanical control. So now that you are armed with the survival guide and you know how to operate the machinery, let's talk about where you should actually spend your yen.
The big players.
Exactly. We're going to put the spotlight on the two absolute heavyweights of the industry, the giants that are warring for the tourist dollar. Let's start with Sushiro.
Sushiro is an absolute juggernaut. They are currently Japan's largest conveyor belt sushi chain by revenue and location count, and they have cemented themselves as a massive cult favorite among international travelers.
And Sushiro is not resting on its laurels. They are actively pushing the boundaries of what the physical architecture of a restaurant table even looks like. We have to talk about their newest flagship innovation, which they call Digiro.
Digiro is fascinating because it is a direct response to the beltless revolution we discussed earlier. When restaurants removed the slow, rotating belts for hygiene reasons, they solved the sanitary issue, but they lost the visual magic.
Right.
Watching a physical parade of colorful food slowly pass by is hypnotic. It stimulates appetite. If you just stare at an iPad menu, you lose that sensory stimulation.
So Sushiro figured out how to digitize the magic. Imagine walking to your booth, sitting down, and looking to your left. Instead of a physical mechanical belt, the entire width of your table, the entire wall of the booth, is a massive, ultra-wide, interactive digital screen. It's like having a 60-inch glowing canvas right next to your plate.
And this screen creates a virtual, high-definition digital conveyor belt. Renderings of beautifully lit sushi float across the screen in real time. Because the screen is so massive, it changes the dynamic from a single person holding a tablet to a shared multiplayer experience. Everyone at the table can reach out, touch the screen, and interact with the digital food simultaneously.
It's incredible UI design. They integrated a feature called Sushi Navi, which allows you to filter the floating digital sushi using hashtags. You can tap hashtag spicy or hashtag limited time, and the digital belt instantly populates with only those items, almost like you are browsing a TikTok feed of raw fish.
It's very modern.
And it's heavily gamified. As you tap the screen and order items, a digital progress bar fills up. When it hits a certain threshold, the entire wall transforms into the Dako Sushi game, a slot machine-style minigame based entirely on your order volume. It took the simple act of looking at a menu and turned it into an immersive video game.
But all the millions of dollars invested in Digio screens and gamified UI mean absolutely nothing if the core product, the food, is subpar. And this is where Sushiro truly separates itself. According to the aggregate foodie reviews we analyzed across platforms like Reddit and Lemon8, Sushiro's culinary quality punches far above its price point.
Reviewers are absolutely obsessed with the quality of their raw fish, specifically their wild bluefin fatty tuna.
Which is a marvel of supply chain economics. To serve high-grade bluefin fatty tuna otoro for roughly $2 or $3 a plate requires immense global purchasing power.
How to do it.
Sushiro essentially buys entire catches at scale, utilizing ultra-low temperature freezing technology during transport to halt cellular degradation. When that tuna thaws in the restaurant, it retains a rich, buttery, melt-in-your-mouth texture that rivals restaurants charging 10 times the price.
But what foreign tourists specifically go crazy for aren't just the traditional cuts. It's Sushiro's creative fusion rolls. The absolute runaway hit, the viral sensation on social media, is their seared salmon with basil cheese.
It sounds almost blasphemous to a traditionalist.
It really does.
Yeah.
But you take a piece of rich salmon, top it with a slice of cheese, hit it with a blowtorch so the cheese melts and chars, and then finish it with a drop of herbaceous Italian basil sauce.
Sounds pretty good, actually.
It completely bridges the gap between Western comfort food flavor profiles and Japanese textures. It is a massive draw for the younger international demographic. But here's where it gets really interesting. Sushiro's true secret weapon, the thing that keeps them at the top of the food chain, isn't actually their raw fish at all.
No, it isn't. It's their mastery of the cooked menu.
Sushiro is leading what I can only describe as the non-raw revolution. We found a phenomenal deep dive article from Sora News 24 where they interviewed a self-proclaimed Kaiten Sushi superfan who goes by the name Kura Sushi. This man has lived, breathed, and obsessively documented conveyor belt sushi every single day for over 30 years.
Every day for 30 years?
Yeah. He is the ultimate authority. And when the interviewer asked him for his absolute top must-order recommendations at Sushiro, his favorite items weren't sushi.
The side menu at Sushiro is notoriously exceptional. Food critics and casual reviewers consistently note that Sushiro sides are specialty store quality.
The variety is staggering. You can sit down at this sushi restaurant and order a rich, deeply cloudy chicken peitan ramen where the broth has been simmered for hours until the collagen breaks down into a creamy soup. You can order a delicate clam salt ramen with perfectly plump fresh clams. They serve a roast beef mazasoba, which is a thick, savory, brothless noodle dish topped with premium slices of roast beef and a perfectly soft-boiled egg.
And their mastery of the fryer is equally praised.
Oh, the fried foods. They serve French fries for about 100 yen that people claim are better than any fast food chain in Japan. They execute a beautifully light, flaky pumpkin tempura. But Kura Sushi, the 30-year superfan, specifically highlighted the octopus courage. He noted that while their chicken courage is just average, the octopus is a culinary masterpiece.
Really?
Yeah. It's firm but tender, encased in a delightfully crunchy, highly seasoned batter. When you hit it with a squeeze of fresh lemon, the citric tartness cuts right through the fried exterior. It's legendary. And if you cross-reference reviews on Lemon8, Japanese foodies actively rank Sushiro above all its competitors, specifically for their chawanmushi, that incredibly delicate, savory steamed egg custard served in a little cup.
But I have to push back on this, I really do. If I am a tourist and I have spent thousands of dollars on flights and I have traveled halfway across the globe to Tokyo, Japan, why on earth am I sitting in a sushi restaurant ordering French fries and roast beef noodles? Doesn't that completely defeat the purpose of traveling to experience a new culinary culture? It feels like going to Rome and ordering a hamburger. On a purely romantic culinary level, you are entirely correct. It seems counterintuitive. But if you analyze this through the lens of business strategy and the psychology of group travel, the brilliance of this menu becomes undeniably clear. Sushiro has successfully engineered a solution to one of the most devastating problems in the restaurant industry. The veto vote.
Veto vote. I don't think I knew that term.
It's a classic hospitality theory.
Right.
Imagine a group of 4 friends traveling together through Tokyo. 3 of them are adventurous foodies who desperately want to eat authentic, raw Japanese sushi. But one person in the group is a picky eater, or perhaps they have an aversion to raw fish, or they are pregnant and avoiding raw seafood.
Right.
In a traditional, specialized sushi restaurant, that one person exercises their veto vote. The group looks at the menu, realizes there is nothing for their friend to eat, and the entire group leaves to find a generic restaurant that satisfies everyone. The sushi restaurant just lost 4 paying customers because of one person's palate.
Wow. Okay, so how does Sushiro weaponize the side menu against the veto vote?
By offering specialty store quality ramen, incredible roast beef, and flawless French fries, Sushiro completely neutralizes the veto. The 3 foodies get to eat high-grade bluefin tuna and seared salmon, while the friend who hates fish gets to eat a phenomenal, deeply satisfying bowl of hot chicken ramen and crispy fries.
So everyone wins.
Everyone is happy, the group stays together, and Sushiro captures 100% of the revenue. It is the exact same strategy McDonald's used when they introduced premium salads. They didn't expect to become a salad destination. They just needed to eliminate the veto vote of the health-conscious parent so the kids could still get burgers.
That is an incredibly elegant business strategy.
And it goes deeper than just capturing the group. These side dishes, especially the hot noodle soups and the warm, savory tramushi custard, serve a vital physiological function during the meal. They act as thermal and textural palate cleansers.
What do you mean by thermal cleansers?
If you sit down and eat 20 pieces of cold, raw fish and vinegared rice in a row, you inevitably experience palate fatigue. Your mouth gets cold, the textures blur together, and you simply stop wanting to eat, even if your stomach isn't full.
True.
By interspersing the meal with in-between foods, you prevent that fatigue. You go from a cold, delicate piece of raw flounder to a steaming hot, rich, salty chicken broth, to a crunchy, fried piece of octopus, and back to a cold piece of fatty tuna. The contrast in temperature and texture continually reawakens the palate.
Which means you can eat more food.
Exactly. It turns what could be a 15-minute quick lunch into a prolonged, highly dynamic, multi-course dining event. They are keeping the customer engaged, keeping them in the seat longer, and ultimately significantly increasing the total check size.
Okay, so Sushiro is conquering the market through supply chain supremacy, the veto vote side menu, and massive digital screens. But in a duopoly, the competitor can't just try to do the exact same thing. They have to pivot. Let's move across the street and look at the other titan, Kura Sushi.
Kura Sushi.
If Sushiro is the tech-heavy menu giant, Kura Sushi is the undeniable king of health, hygiene, and deeply addictive gacha games.
Kura Sushi realized very early on that trying to beat Sushiro purely on the breadth of the menu was a losing battle. So they carved out a highly distinct, fiercely loyal brand identity. They leaned heavily into a health-conscious, almost purist approach to mass-market dining.
Right, they practically shout it from the rooftops in their marketing. Kura Sushi heavily advertises that their food is entirely additive-free. They proudly state that their ingredients are strictly free of 4 major categories: artificial flavorings, artificial sweeteners, artificial colorings, and artificial preservatives.
Which is a massive differentiator in the fast food space.
Yeah.
In an industry that relies on highly processed ingredients to maintain shelf life and visual appeal, committing to an additive-free supply chain at a global scale is incredibly difficult and expensive.
Definitely.
But it pays off by capturing a massive demographic. Families with young children, parents trust Kura. They know they can let their toddlers eat 10 plates of food without pumping them full of synthetic dyes.
But while the parents might come for the additive-free promise, the global internet knows Kura Sushi for their mechanical hygiene technology. Specifically, a little invention called the Sendokun.
The Sendokun is Kura's proprietary crown jewel. It is a specialized antibacterial dome that securely covers every single plate of sushi as it travels around the rotating belt.
If you've seen a video of Kura Sushi, you know exactly what this is. It looks like a little clear plastic UFO sitting on top of the plate. And the design is an absolute marvel of mechanical engineering because it solves the exact hygiene vectors we discussed with the sushi terrorism scandal. It acts as a physical barrier against dust, airborne viral droplets from people talking, and wandering fingers.
But the true genius isn't the dome itself, it's the fluid mechanics of how you open it.
Right, because if everyone had to grab the top of the dome with greasy fingers to lift it off, the dome itself would become a massive biohazard of cross-contamination.
Exactly, so Kura engineered it so you never actually touch the plastic dome. The dome is hinged to the belt system itself. When a plate you want approaches, you slide 2 fingers under the front rim of the actual plate and gently pull up and toward you.
Just a little lift.
Using basic leverage, the upward tilt of the plate forces the dome to automatically pop open like a clamshell. You slide the plate out, and the dome snaps shut, remaining securely on the belt. It is a completely touchless extraction.
And Kura takes this physical security and layers an intense digital security apparatus over it. Every single Sendo-kun cover is actively monitored by an array of AI cameras mounted directly above the belts.
We talked about AI cameras earlier, but Kura's system is incredibly specific.
It is. The algorithm is trained on the exact opening and closing mechanics of the Sendo-kun hinge. If the AI detects that a dome has been opened, a plate removed, and then crucially that same plate is placed back inside the dome, the system registers a critical breach.
Red alert.
It instantly alerts the kitchen staff with the exact location, allowing them to pull the compromised dome off the belt immediately. It ensures absolute, verifiable hygiene and total peace of mind for the diner.
That is some serious defensive engineering. But let's be honest, the real reason tourists are lining up around the block, waiting 2 hours in the rain to get into Kura Sushi, isn't because they are passionate about antibacterial clamshell domes.
Definitely not.
It is because of the Bakura Pond. What's fascinating here is that this is the ultimate weaponized gamification of eating.
It is arguably one of the most successful, sophisticated, interactive dining features ever implemented in the history of the restaurant industry.
I completely agree.
Here is how the Bakura Pond works. When you sit down in your booth, you'll notice a physical slot built directly into the table, usually positioned right beneath the touchscreen tablet. It looks exactly like a mail slot. As you finish your meal, instead of stacking your dirty plates into a wobbly tower on the table, you slide the empty plates into this slot.
The plates slide down a water flush chute directly back to the dishwashing station.
But the magic happens at the table. The slot contains an optical sensor that counts the plates. 1 plate, 2 plates, 3 plates. The moment you insert your 5th empty plate, the tablet mounted above your table takes over. It pauses the menu and launches a fully animated, high-definition cinematic minigame.
The production value on these animations is surprisingly high, too.
It really is. It might be an animation of a ninja engaged in a sword fight with a monster, or a surfer trying to ride a massive wave, or a character trying to catch a fish. You have no controller. You just sit there and watch the cinematic play out. The outcome is generated by a randomized algorithm.
Right.
If the ninja loses the fight, a big "you lose" flashes on the screen, the menu returns, and nothing happens.
Yeah.
But if your character strikes the final blow and wins the game, a physical gachapon capsule, a little plastic ball drops from a dispensing machine mounted above your table, rolling right into your hands.
And Kura doesn't populate these machines with cheap, generic plastic rings. They leverage massive cultural capital, they secure partnerships with global intellectual properties. Depending on the month, you could be winning exclusive merchandise from Sanrio. So, Hello Kitty, Kuromi, My Melody, or mega-hit anime franchises like Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, and One Piece.
Stuff people actually want.
These aren't disposable trinkets. They are highly desirable, limited edition souvenirs for pop culture-obsessed travelers.
If you want to see this entire system escalated to its absolute peak, you have to visit the Kura Sushi Tokyo Skytree Global Flagship Store in Oshiashi. Time Out Tokyo officially confirmed that this specific location is the largest conveyor belt sushi restaurant in the world. It is cavernous.
The architectural design alone is worth the visit. It completely redefines the aesthetic of fast food.
It is genuinely beautiful. They designed it to feel like a modern interpretation of an Edo period festival. It features massive glowing lantern walls, beautiful private wooden booths equipped with the Sendo-kun belts, and the sheer scale of the double-decker express lanes zooming around this massive space is breathtaking.
It's quite a sight.
But because it is the global flagship, they integrated exclusive features. The standard Bakura Pond game at the table is just the beginning. If you win certain rare tickets from the capsule machine at your table, you can take those tickets to the second floor, where they have constructed a physical digital shooting gallery called Bakura Gyo. Use digital rifles to shoot virtual targets on a massive wall screen to win even bigger premium prizes. It is literally a food amusement park.
Now, from a culinary perspective, it is worth noting the consensus among the deep dive foodie reviewers we analyzed. While Kura Sushi is universally beloved for its unparalleled atmosphere, its addictive games, and its incredibly aggressive pricing, most plates are still hovering around 150 yen, which is roughly $1 US. Some strict sushi purists noted that the texture and fat content of their raw fish can occasionally fall just slightly short of the ultra-premium standard set by Sushiro's supply chain.
Right, but Kura makes up for it by excelling in unique, cooked items. Reviewers highlight their incredibly rich eel unagi sushi, their savory beef kalbi nigiri, and highly unconventional offerings like a bright pink strawberry soda. They keep people coming back for the totality of the experience, not just the raw cuts.
What is truly fascinating here, however, is the underlying behavioral psychology of the Bikurupan system. When you strip away the anime ninjas and the Hello Kitty keychains, what Kura Sushi has built is a masterpiece of operational efficiency disguised as a child's game. It operates on two distinct layers of manipulation.
Okay, let's break that down. What's the first layer?
The first layer is labor cost offloading. In a mega restaurant that serves tens of thousands of plates every single day, bussing tables is a massive, highly expensive labor bottleneck.
Oh, for sure.
If waiters have to constantly walk out, collect towers of dirty plates, and carry them to the back, it slows down table turnover and requires a huge staff. By gamifying plate disposal, Kura Sushi completely eliminates that labor cost. They have successfully convinced the paying customer to bus their own table, load their own dishes into the dishwashing chute, and feel joy while doing it.
That is wild when you say it out loud. You're literally doing the dirty work of a busboy, clearing your own table and thanking the restaurant for the privilege.
Exactly. It's brilliant. But the second layer is far more psychologically potent. The Bikurupan system subtly yet aggressively manipulates human consumption patterns. It is a classic Skinner box utilizing intermittent reinforcement.
A Skinner box, like a psychology experiment with the rat pressing the lever.
Yes. Imagine you are sitting in a booth. You have eaten 13 plates of sushi. You are completely full. Your caloric needs are met. But, mechanically, that if you force yourself to eat just 2 more plates, you will hit the magical number 15.
Right.
You will unlock a second chance to watch the animation and potentially win that exclusive Demon Slayer prize. The overwhelming majority of diners, fully aware they are not hungry, will order those 2 extra plates.
Gamified gluttony.
Precisely, it pushes the customer to constantly chase multiples of 5. And because the reward is randomized, you might win, you might lose. It triggers dopamine spikes identical to gambling. It consistently artificially inflates the average revenue per table.
I have to push back on this because it feels a little dystopian. So they have basically turned bussing your own table into a slot machine. And they are leveraging gambling psychology to make people overeat for a 10-cent plastic toy.
Pretty much.
That is evil genius. But honestly, doesn't that fundamentally destroy the actual appreciation of the food? If a diner is just mindlessly stuffing their face with salmon to hit a digital quota, are they really experiencing culinary culture?
It's an excellent critique, and from a traditional Michelin star culinary perspective, a master sushi chef would likely be horrified. They would view it as a degradation of the art form. But we have to look at the specific demographic Kura Sushi is targeting. Tourists, large families, young adults on dates.
They're not looking for Michelin stars.
Exactly. For this demographic, the food is only one component of the value proposition. The entertainment, the shared joy of anticipating the capsule dropping, the laughter at the table when the ninja loses the fight that is the experience they are paying for. The food simply facilitates the fun. They aren't going to Kura Sushi for a spiritual culinary awakening. They are going for a dopamine hit.
Which brings us perfectly to the core question of this entire deep dive. Why is this specific demographic, the 20s and 30s international traveler, so utterly, completely obsessed with Kaiten Sushi right now? Why is this the #1 bucket list item for a generation of tourists?
If we synthesize all the travel guides, the economic data, and the social media trends, the appeal rests entirely on 3 massive pillars. Extreme affordability, visual interactivity, and a completely frictionless, stress-free environment.
Let's talk about the affordability pillar first, because if you are coming from North America, Europe, or Australia right now, the pricing matrix of Kaiten Sushi is almost incomprehensible. We read a detailed travel vlog breakdown from a creator named Hungry Pursuit. A family of 5 went to a Kaiten Sushi chain.
Oh, this was wild.
Yeah, they ate until they were physically uncomfortable. They played the gacha games, they ordered premium cuts of fish, they ordered bowls of ramen, they got multiple desserts, and their total bill was just $35 US.
It defies Western economic logic.
It really does. The vast majority of standard plates start at 100 to 150 yen. With recent exchange rates, that fluctuates around a single US dollar, sometimes less. You simply cannot find a sit-down, table service, highly entertaining, air-conditioned meal with high-quality protein for that price anywhere else in the developed world.
And that affordability fundamentally changes the psychology of the traveler. When young people travel on a budget, dining out is usually a source of financial anxiety. You look at a menu and you have to do mental math, like, can I afford the appetizer? Should I skip the drink?
Right, you're always calculating.
At Kaiten Sushi, that anxiety vanishes. It allows budget travelers to experience the rare joy of absolute abundance. You don't have to look at the prices. If a plate of torched Wagyu beef looks good, you just take it. It feels incredibly luxurious to order without constraint.
And what catches your eye looks absolutely amazing on a smartphone camera. This is the second pillar, the visual interactivity. Kaiten Sushi is arguably the most natively Instagrammable and TikTok-friendly dining experience on the planet.
It's as if the entire industry was engineered specifically for short-form video content.
Every single step of the meal is a highly dynamic, visually arresting event. You have the high-speed bullet trains shooting out of the kitchen. You have the massive Digiro screens glowing with anime characters. You have the mechanical precision of the Sendakun domes popping open. And of course, sliding 5 plates into a slot to trigger a physical capsule dropping from the ceiling. It is a constant stream of kinetic, shareable moments.
And this generates an unstoppable loop of organic, user-generated marketing. A 22-year-old tourist posts a video of winning a Hello Kitty keychain at Kura Sushi. Their friends back home see it. It triggers massive FOMO fear of missing out. And when those friends eventually plan their own trip to Japan, Kura Sushi is at the very top of their itinerary. It has transitioned from a restaurant to a cultural milestone.
But the third pillar is perhaps the most crucial for the actual reality of traveling: the stress-free environment.
This cannot be overstated. Travel by its very nature is deeply stressful.
Absolutely. You are constantly operating at a low-level cognitive deficit. You are navigating foreign customs, trying to understand public transit, dealing with currency conversions, and constantly worrying about cultural faux pas. Kaiten Sushi operates as a sanctuary that removes every single point of friction. First, there is absolutely no tipping required in Japan, so that financial anxiety is gone at the end of the meal.
Second, as we discussed, the multilingual tablets eradicate the language barrier. You never have to speak to a human being if you don't have the social energy.
And third, the checkout process is flawless. Because of those RFID chips embedded in the plates or the optical scanners in the Bakurapan slot, there is no debate about the bill. You don't have to awkwardly split the check or argue about who ordered what. You tap checkout on your screen, you take your little QR code ticket to the self-checkout kiosk at the front, you scan it, tap your credit card, and you walk out. It is a masterpiece of frictionless commerce.
When you look at how this fits into the ethos of the modern traveler, it makes perfect sense. The modern 20-something tourist wants authentic cultural experiences, but they also highly value convenience, safety, and digital integration. They don't want to feel like clumsy outsiders intruding on a solemn, traditional space where they might break a rule.
Exactly.
Kaiten Sushi offers a hyper-modern slice of Japanese culture that is deeply authentic to how modern Japanese locals actually eat on a Tuesday night. It is not a fake tourist trap. It is a vital local staple that just happens to be spectacularly welcoming and perfectly optimized for a foreigner.
So, stepping back and looking at the massive scale of this, what does this all mean for the future of the restaurant industry? Are we witnessing the death of the traditional human sushi chef? Are they all going to be replaced by robotic air injectors and massive digital food parks?
I don't think it's a zero-sum game. Traditional high-end omakase sushi, where a master chef spends an hour crafting an artisanal narrative for 8 people at a wooden counter, will always exist. It will survive as a luxury bespoke experience. But what we are seeing with the massive, aggressive global expansion of chains like Sushiro and Kura Sushi is the export of an incredibly powerful system.
The system itself is the product.
Exactly. They aren't just selling slices of raw fish, they are selling a highly engineered, radically transparent, and deeply entertaining framework for dining. It is a model that proves definitively that extreme speed and total automation do not have to result in a cold, sterile environment. They don't have to come at the expense of joy.
And what a fascinating journey we've been on today to uncover that. Let's recap the massive amount of ground we've covered. We started all the way back in 1958 with Yoshiaki Shiraishi standing in an Asahi brewery in Osaka, looking at beer bottles on a conveyor belt, trying to find a way to save his small, understaffed restaurant.
We tracked how that simple mechanical innovation democratized sushi, stripping away the intimidation and high prices, making it accessible to the working class. We saw how existential crises like the recent social media trust breaches forced the industry to evolve at light speed, implementing semiconductor-level clean rooms, AI camera tracking, and high-speed express lanes to ensure absolute hygiene and eliminate food waste.
We broke down the essential survival guide for your next trip. mastering the multilingual tablet, making your own chemically precise green tea from the powder, respecting the boiling hot tap, using the ginger as a true palate cleanser, never putting a touched plate back on the belt, and being prepared to add your own wasabi. We explored the titans battling for dominance. Sushiro, with its massive interactive Digiro screens and a brilliant side menu of specialty store ramen and crispy octopus that successfully eliminates the veto vote.
And Kura Sushi, with its staunch additive-free philosophy, the touchless engineering of the Sendokun domes, and the beautifully manipulative behavioral psychology of the Bikura Pon gacha games that offload labor costs and gamified table clearing.
All of this, meticulously designed to provide a stress-free, highly affordable, and wildly shareable experience for the modern traveler. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final, slightly provocative thought to chew on.
It's a paradox that really sits at the center of this entire phenomenon. As these Kaiten Sushi restaurants move further and further away from traditional human interaction, literally replacing the master chef with a robotic rice maker, replacing the waiter with a magnetic express lane, and replacing the physical menu with a giant glowing digital screen, they have somehow, ironically, created a dining experience that feels more playful, more engaging, and more deeply connected for a foreign traveler than ever before.
It's true.
In a modern world where we constantly complain that technology, screens, and automation are alienating us from each other, why does a meal inside a highly automated, hyper-mechanized Kaiten Sushi restaurant feel like so much fun?
It's a brilliant question. Is the technology isolating us? Or is it finally freeing us up to just enjoy the moment with the people sitting across the table? It's something to mull over the next time you're sitting in a traditional restaurant, checking your watch, nervously trying to catch a busy waiter's eye. So, the next time you find yourself wandering the neon streets of Tokyo or Osaka, follow the glowing signs, step through the sliding doors into the buzzing room, sit down at your booth, and let the food amusement park come directly to you. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Go out there, hit the express lane, and find your own edible theme park. We'll see you next time.